This one right here is my Squier Affinity P bass, made sometime in the 2000s. I bought it from a local music store. Actually, my mom bought it for me, but yeah, it's nice having this. This is my second bass. My first bass is actually downstairs, but we'll get that for another video. Anyway, I recently put a gold pearl pickguard on there. Not all the screw holes are on it. And I took some of the electronics from a Glary P bass, fretless P bass I had, and put them on this. So now I actually am able to get some sound out of it. It needs to be grounded, but other than that, it sounds like a P bass. Weighs quite a bit. As you can see, there's a little scratch there. This part underneath the pick guard right here is routed out for a pickup, and the pickup that I put in there wasn't really all that great, so I'm gonna have to redo that sometime. Maybe put another pickup in there, or just sell this thing. So I don't really like how it's playing right now. I guess I could get it fixed, but you know, I got too many basses right now. I got like 11 of them. So these are all 7 out of like 11 or 12 basses that I got. Has a hip shot on it. This bass is currently tuned in E standard. I can drop it down to D really quick. You can even change the tuning all the way down to C if you want, or even like A if you really wanted to go down to A. I'm pretty sure you could do that. All right, let's see the next one. Sitting off to the side is my Ibanez Geo 5-string in purple. I put a Tone Monster preamp in it. I need to rewire this one. It sounds pretty good. Active electronics aren't all that bad. The original were a hunk of shit, but you know, that's alright. This bass plays alright. It just needs the bridge pickup, or the neck pickup, to be attached to the controls in there. It needs to be rewired, so I really enjoy this 5-string. Not as much as I used to, but at least I have one. I used to have another one, a Rogue 5-string bass. It had a Musicman humbucker and a Jazz single coil, but it didn't sound all that great, and the neck was chunky, really chunky. All right, the next one we got is this Squier heavily modded jazz bass. It's an Affinity from like the 2010s. You might have seen a few videos on this. I recently got the electronics done on it. It's really cool. You got this pickup going to this volume pot, these two going to this volume, and then this volume going to the bridge, and then you got a master tone, and if you pull on it, it kills the bass. It's already killed, so you just pull it and kills the sound. Really nice. I really enjoy it. It's heavy, made with some sort of maple body. That's what I think it is. It's a heavy wood. Stains like crazy, I think. I'm not sure. But I really enjoy this bass. It's one of my go-tos. I guess I'll go ahead and show you one of my favorite basses right now. This is the BXP Cirrus by Peavey. People sleep on these instruments like crazy, but they got some nice electronics and play very decently. They sound a lot like Ken Smith's just because of the pickup spacing. This neck pickup is not spaced like a traditional jazz bass pickup. These are humbuckers though, but you know, this neck pickup is a little bit closer to the bridge than, say, on this Paranormal here. I'll get to that one in a second. And it has a 3-band preamp, active pickups, and the what I do with the preamp is I might boost everything just a hair, and it sounds amazing. I used to just boost the bass and treble a little bit. I never really cut anything because it, you know, I don't really want to cut anything. But this is one of the workhorses. I recently stripped the truss rod on it, so it's gonna need some serious work. If you were to look inside of it, the little thing that the wrench goes inside of in order to adjust it is stripped out. I don't think the actual rod itself is stripped, but yeah, that's kind of sad. It still plays though. I have it in E standard as well. We have to mention that that one has drop A. This one is in E standard as well. But yeah, I really love this bass. I only paid $500 for it, closer to 600 actually, but you know, after shipping and everything. But you know, it was a great purchase. Hope I can fix it. All right, here's probably one of the big regrets I have right here. Squier Paranormal jazz bass. It's a pretty new model. The big gimmick with this one, other than the looks, is the dual concentric volume and tone. Is kind of a gimmick because all you're doing is muffling the overall sound. Like if you muffle one of the pickups, it doesn't sound all that great, especially if you muffle the neck pickup. You know, it just doesn't really do all that well. But yeah, I'm thinking about selling this. I put some strings on this. What are they called? I have them over here. MJC Ironworks light set of steel strings, and these were about $30. Yeah, these will last for a while. I just haven't really played this bass because I'm not really interested in it. I might swap the pickups or sell it. We'll have to see. It's in new condition, so I guess I could get like 300 out of it. All right, here's one of the more interesting ones. This is a kit build out of a Bargain Musician, you know, kit bass. You know, it's all pretty much all stock except for the electronics and the strap buttons. I have the salvage strap buttons from other instruments. I have an acoustic bass by in my most famous video actually. It's a Best Choice Products acoustic bass, and I've had it for a while, but I ripped the frets out of it recently and haven't really looked back, put the tuners back on it, or put a new nut on it either. You know, I just haven't been interested in continuing that project. So I might just give it to somebody and let them deal with it. I'm not expecting much out of that. It was only $80. But this one, this was about 160. All in, it's probably more like 400 because I had to do I had somebody at Musicland do a setup on this. Wasn't completely happy with the setup at first, but they adjusted the truss rod and made it play a little better. I could dig into the strings a little bit more. Biggest issue with this bass right now is, surprisingly enough, the new electronics. It's passive, but basically the controls right here are very simple. You got a volume, master tone, kill switch, and a pickup selector. And this bass hums like crazy because some idiot forgot to ground the output jack. I guess they must not heard it through their amp that they were testing this through, but that's a serious problem with this. Whenever I touch the output jack, the noise dies instantly, except for like the actual sound coming out of the pickups. And the hum is killed almost immediately when I touch that. And if you pull on either of these knobs, you can split them into single coils. It doesn't really sound like a jazz bass though, which is something that I kind of wanted out of this. There's a little bit of high hopes for this, but you know, didn't really turn out to be the best. I guess I'll still get the, you know, the output jack grounded. I'll have a buddy look at it. Maybe he can do it for free. But yeah, this is plays all right. I have it tuned down to E flat, so that's what I use this for. A lot of metal tones. All right, and then we move on to my most recent acquisition. This Peavey Foundation Fretless. This is from like the 90s or something. Has the VLF pickups in it. I thought it might have a pickup spacing similar to the Cirrus. It's a little bit closer to what a jazz bass has. Still a great bass. The only real issue with it right now is the lines on it are sticking out a bit. Whatever veneer or plastic they use for this, it's sticking out. So this needs to be leveled so that I can actually play on the upper frets. The lower positions is completely fine. There's a little bit of buzz, but that's kind of be expected. I only paid like 220 bucks for it. All in, maybe 250. Yeah, I had to pay like 30 bucks shipping for this. Not as much as the Cirrus here. I think I spent like 50 bucks for the shipping on that. But I mean, people keep sleeping on these Peavey instruments, and I don't understand it. Like, these are good instruments. It has a bunch of stickers on it, like different movie categories. It's kind of weird. I might take those off if I can, you know, get some gooby going and, you know, do that. It has a micro tilt adjustment, just like the 70s Fender basses. If you see that little hole right there, you put an Allen key in there, turn it a few times, you can adjust the neck tilt. You don't need a shim for this, which is really nice. This is a feature they should implement on a lot of more basses, because it's so much easier than actually putting a wooden shim in there. And you wouldn't want to use a metal or plastic shim, because metal will just, you know, make noise, and the plastic will compress, so wood won't compress as much. So that's you know, that's something that you might have to do on a bass if the strings don't play all that well. But yeah, I'll do another video on this. All of these, maybe. We'll have to see. I really want to get things right with some of these. I'll try and do a few videos today, see what I can do in a few minutes. And yeah, that'll be the video.